Hi everyone, Wanshi here. So today I will be showing you guys on how Excel tables have actually changed my productivity at work and why you should be using these Excel tables, be it the data set that you are working with is only 5 rows, 10 rows, 20 rows, or even thousands of rows. So first of all, you have to understand what is actually an Excel table. An Excel table, you can think of it as a container that will help you to fill up your data set. And it will allow you to modify and manipulate it easily using formulas, using sorting and filtering. So next on, I'll be showing you guys on how we can tabulate a data set and what are the benefits that you can read from here. So what you are seeing here is the Excel data set that I have retrieved and generated via ChatGBT, where next time I will be guiding you guys on how we can create this sort of data. So what we have over here is the customer ID, purchase ID, date, type of cake, quantity, and of course the price. So what you can see, right, this is not an Excel table because there is no header over here, and when I click among the data set, there is no additional ribbon that appears on top. So this is actually not an Excel table. So how we can actually turn this into an Excel table is that by using Control T. So I'll just open up a new tab and just copy it and I'll tabulate it right now by selecting the data set and then I'll click Control T. Then it will pop up like message like this and you can click OK. So another alternative is that you can actually go on this insert and tabulate it. So this is actually will actually appear the same option that you'll be seeing just now. So click yes, then you can see that it's a yes transfer it in terms of this. And what we will do, I'll just double click to resize it. And what you can see, right, there's like these banded rows. So this is actually a very good indicator for us when we are working with a large data set. Alright, so the first benefit of using an Excel table is that you can see on top there is a header and there's this mini drop down button where we can click and see that there is a option for us to select. So this is actually especially very useful for us when we want to filter on certain criteria. Let's say for example, I want to filter what type of cake that my customer buy the most or how many customers that actually bought the vanilla cake. So I click vanilla, then I'll see that 4 days of the selling days that I have actually sold my vanilla. You can undo it via this clearing the filter, and then of course sometimes I want to see what is my sales of the cake. So I'll just click this, then starting you will just sort from the first to the older state. So first of January until 20th of the January of my sales data. Alright, so right now are we going to the second benefit of having an Excel table, which is I think is the most crucial, where it will auto-fill the formulas inside an Excel table. So I'll just do an example over here where we can see there's this total cost. Remove the data set. So for this, we can easily start a formula using an equal sign and then select on the quantity sold times the price of the cake. And press enter and you see, right, it automatically flows down to the end of the data set. So this is actually very useful when you are dealing with thousands of rows of data so that you don't have to drag it down manually by yourself to the end of the maybe 10,000 of the data set. Now moving forward, I'll go into the third benefit, which is that it's very easy update for pivot tables and charts because we can auto add and remove the rows by clicking on the refresh button. So I'll just create an Excel pivot table by going into the insert and click on pivot table. So right now I want to see how many cakes do I sold in a span of 20 days. So I'll pull in the type of cake and then the quantity sold, where this is actually the correct one, where it shows the sum of the quantity sold. So in a glance, right, I can see that, hey, peanut butter and vanilla is the most popular among the cakes. So let me just rename this as a pivot and this as a table. Okay, so example, I maybe in the system, might have missed out to record data. Probably on the third of the day, this customer one actually have purchased another cake that I did not manage to record. So let's say, for example, he or she may have bought another vanilla cake, and she bought it in three quantity and the price of a vanilla cake is $15. So you can actually see right at the end of this, it's actually automatically calculated. So right now, when I go into the pivot table and I click refresh, then you will see this vanilla has increased from 11 to 14. So again, going back to the same scenario. Okay, so maybe I have mistaken that, hey, actually she did not buy a vanilla. This is actually a false alarm. So I will just click it and delete this row. And what this will do is that when I go over to the pivot table and click refresh, it will automatically update it again. So this is actually the beauty of having an Excel table rather than a range file, because when you have an additional row or removal of a row, it will automatically shrink it or add it according to your Excel table size, providing the next data set is actually on the next line of the Excel table. Now I'll just do a very quick introduction on Excel table. So you can see, right, when you click onto this Excel data set, you can go to this table design, and there's a few of the, so the first one is the table name. So this is what we will call as table 4. When we are doing some worksheet reference or cell reference, this will be very, very useful. And there's this resize table where when you click, you can resize, like probably you want to expand or probably you want to shrink up the data set, you can actually do that. So let's say, for example, I want to shrink it to 20 rows, then you will see that, hey, oh, these two rows are not inside the table anymore, and you see the formula will not be usable because it's not linked. This is not considered to be table for quantity so anymore. So this is actually very, very important to ensure that your data set is included into the table set. So I'll just click on back. So it's back on the data set. Then let's continue this, and there is this remove duplicate. We know that purchase ID cannot be duplicated. So to ensure that there's no duplicated, so I will just click on this and unselect, and I will click on the purchase ID and see if there's any duplicated purchase ID. Yeah, so there's no duplicated values found. That's good. And also you can always convert it back to the range by clicking on this. And oh, that's very, very interesting feature over here where I click on this total row. You can actually see that in the span of 20 days, I have made sales of around $920. So this is actually very interesting information to know how much my business is actually performing. And lastly, you can have the design by yourself, where you can just click according to your preference. So personally, I actually like this banded row feature so that I can figure it out. This is the first line, this is the second line, this is the third line, and go on and so forth. So okay. So right now I actually sort of like want to make it a little bit fun. So I went to ask ChatGPT on why we should use an Excel table rather than normal range apart. I want to see if there's any other reasons apart from the ones that I've just told you just now. So the first one that ChatGPT is saying is that automatic formatting, where automatic applies formatting such as alternating rows and header styles so that it's easier to read. So this actually meant on the banded rows on the table design. So dynamic range, where it expand and contract automatically. So don't need to adjust your formula, which is very true. Just now I've just shown you. And easy formatting and filtering by clicking on the button so that you can do some modifications on the dataset. And name reference. So refer by their names columns instead of their cell reference. So this is actually a very good point. Where go back to on this Excel file, right? So you can actually see, right? This is actually referring back to the quantity sold and the price instead of like E2 and F2. So it is actually standardized across the formula because this will be referring back to the particular column instead of the range. So this is what the ChatGPT was talking about. And lastly, the total row feature, where this will have a sum, average, and counts. Where this is what meant is by this, the total, have a glance of the total of the total sales over here. So I hope that you guys enjoy this video and hope that this will help you with your productivity when you are using Excel. See you next time.